Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and I want to introduce to you someone who is one of our board members, brand new board member. This is Jane Plaugher. Jane and I, well, I've known Jane for several years, but we got really acquainted this past winter. Yes. Because you came to me and you said that you were part of an organization that needed some space. Tell me about that.
I have a group called Yarn Circle, and it's a group of knitters and spinners and crocheters and needlepoint, anything that has to do with yarn. And we needed a place because we had outgrown the library. Mm-hmm. And when I came to you, basically, I said to you, I have a dilemma.
Yeah.
And you said, no, will the purple room work?
Yeah.
So we felt very, very welcomed, and we have just really enjoyed being there since January. It's very comfortable. And I've also encouraged our guild to try meeting at the art space. So the Blue Ridge Fiber Guild is meeting there also. And a lot of my knitters have become members, and a lot of my yarn people have become members, and a lot of my yarn people are very interested in the classes. We're all discovering that there's so much going on at Art Center, at Art Space. And I've taken a class in stained glass.
Yes.
And we're talking, folks from my yarn circle are talking about doing an arty party.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If you think this group is fun knitting,
give them a little bit of paint and something to drink.
Yes. And one of my knitters is even going to teach a class.
That's right.
She is so excited about doing it. She is over the top excited about doing that.
And she's also going to work with our children's camp in August. And
oh, good.
Yeah, she is. This is Susan Wiley we're talking about. I mean, Susan Weinberg. We got Susan's, various Susans, and she is. She does this incredible paper mache. I'll bring her and show you sometime. You will be entranced with the stuff that she does. And this was one of those surprise things because every now and then your folks come in with something and I'm like, whoa, this is neat.
Yes, yes. Yes, and this wasn't even yarn.
Yep, that's right.
This is just amazing. So there's so much talent that I'm learning about in our group, and we share it, and it's really, really neat.
And I love to hear the groups meeting at the Blue Ridge Art Space because my office is very close to the room that they meet in, and the energy level and the fun that's coming out of that room is just so fun to be around. And I love to see the parking lot have lots of cars in it, and lots of pull up and it's like, oh, so something cool's going on here.
Right.
So it's really fun to be around.
The thing about Yarn Circle is you don't have to be a good knitter. You don't even have to know how to knit yet. If you want to learn, I will teach it.
Yeah.
And if you have problems with patterns or anything you're doing, I'm there to help. And I really enjoy that.
Well, y'all often will come in as you're gathering. It's like, look what I've been working on, or here's how much progress have you made in this project, this week, and that kind of thing. And you wore in an outfit that we teased you all about.
Yes, my bikini poncho with the big cable right here.
It was kind of fun. But it's a gorgeous poncho that she made. It just happened to have the cable right across the middle, so we picked on her about that. But it's really neat to see what y'all do and to see the friendships that develop between the group and the interaction. I personally am enjoying getting to know individuals within the organizations that are meeting there.
Good. Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of fun for me, and I. There are days when it's quiet is good and I can get something accomplished, but I really enjoy that energy level for people to be there and things happening. And sometimes we have to juggle schedules because there's workshops and classes that have to go on too, and so we figure it out, and it all works.
It's working. It's working.
And you got involved in the gift shop.
Because I wanted to put some of my stuff in there, and getting involved in the gift shop, I needed to have something to do, and Sherry is very good about finding things for me to
Yeah.
do.
She helped a lot. If you got a green mailing, she probably helped with it.
My hands were on it at some point. But yeah, and when Sherry asked me if I would be willing to be on the board, I am very excited about being part of
We're glad to
the board
have
of
you.
directors.
Now,
yeah.
you've got something in front of you. We've kind of ignored it so far, but let's talk about this. What is this?
This is my spinning wheel, one of 3 that I own. If you have a spinning wheel in your spinner, you don't have a spinning wheel. This is my Traveler. She sits in the front seat. She has a name. I call her Jenny. And what I'm doing is spinning yarn on it. And what we have here is called roving. And this is just, it's been cleaned and dyed and treated so that all I have to do is...
Now, what is this made of? What
This
fiber
is wool. This is 100% wool. This is, I believe, Blueface Leicester. There's a lot of different types of wool. And actually, if you come to the festival, I will have a board that shows you all the different kinds, well, not all, but most of the different kinds of sheep. And I have samples of their wool, so you can feel it. We have a festival coming up on tomorrow.
This will air after the festival, so you've missed it already if you didn't get there. But I'll get Jane to come back for a second Saturday and do a demo with that as well. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll be demoing tomorrow.
Okay.
And I will have that tomorrow. So, but this is how we make yarn. And I will spin 2 bobbins. These are the bobbins up here. And then I will put them together onto another bobbin, plying it. And then I'm ready to knit with it.
What is flying it?
Plying.
Oh, plying it. Okay.
If you ever looked at yarn in the store, it'll say 2-ply, 3-ply.
Okay, and I was going to ask you,
And
because this is very thin.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And when I ply it, I don't know if you can see that on a camera, but this is what it'll look like.
That's 2-ply.
That's 2-ply.
And then when you do it again, it'd be 3, 4, whatever.
Right, right. And you always ply in the opposite direction that you spun, so you don't unspin it. So it's really fun to demonstrate and have kids come, because there's this thought that this has something to do, the yarn should be on this big wheel. So I generally get kids to come behind me and watch, and they'll see how it goes into and on here. And what this does is it just spins it.
And the string that's here is really working with the big wheel.
Yes, that's, yeah. And actually, it's a whole pulley system.
Yeah.
So
you purchase your loom, I'm assuming, your spinning wheel. Could you make a spinning wheel?
There are people who have made them. Wouldn't be me. But yeah, you can.
Do you work? You spin your yarn, and you usually use that yarn for what your projects are?
Yes, or I sell my yarn.
Oh, I didn't realize you did that. Okay. Do you dye it and all of that too?
It's usually comes to me like this.
You've already bought it.
Yeah, I don't. But I do some dyeing. And yeah, and I have skeins of yarn that are in a shop somewhere.
Oh wow,
So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been running into a lot of artists lately that are into making yarns of one sort or another and selling them. That's becoming a big thing.
It is. It is. You know, the sad thing is that it used to be that you would knit things and you would have, get yarn, and it would be so much less expensive than actually going out and buying it. And that's not true anymore, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is.
But we still are trying to keep the craft going and still spinning and weaving.
We had a spinner come 2 or 3 months ago from your group, and they used a totally different style of spinning wheel. I'm sure. It appeared different. You know what I'm saying? So it probably wasn't a Traveler. Probably was more of a.
It was what they call a Saxony wheel, which is actually the wheel that you see when you hear about the prick of the finger from from the wheel, and actually that's not the one. The one that has the needle on it is a walking wheel, and it's a big wheel. So
what's the needle for?
it's actually what you're spinning onto
Oh.
instead of a bobbin.
I see.
There are several
Okay.
different kinds.
That's
So
interesting.
this is called a castle or an upright.
Now, your background is a little bit diverse because you've had a whole other career besides the fibers. That's not been your total
No,
career.
that's just been my
Yeah.
career since retiring.
I was going to say, how did you get into this?
I took a class in weaving, and my weaving instructor brought a drop spindle, which I meant to bring and I didn't. But it's like a stick with a circle on it and a
Yes.
hook. And we started doing that for fun. And then she got me to go to a meeting of women who became the reincarnation of the Blue Ridge Fiber Guild.
Ah.
But we went, and I went to this with her, and somebody put a spinning wheel in front of me. And that was all she wrote.
That's
I
cool.
was
Now,
hooked.
how long have you been working with fibers?
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
So when you started, did you have any background at all?
I was a knitter, but I hadn't done it in a very long time.
So when you were doing this other career, you really didn't have time to do art on the side that much.
It's kind of funny about that. No, I really didn't think I had time. But after I got involved with this and the spinning, I had opportunities to do things. In fact, I did do spinning at an art council's event way back then, and I was working Child Protective Services.
Right.
And I learned how to say no. I can't stay late because I'm going to demonstrate spinning. It was wonderful. And that was the beginning of learning to say no.
Yeah.
So.
And then you got into felting somewhere
Yes,
along the way because
needle
I had
felting.
you judge some work for us one
Yes,
time.
yes, I
Yeah.
do needle felting.
And let's talk about what is felting.
Felting is taking something that looks like this, and you kind of ball it all up. You take a needle, and the needle is long and has barbs on it, and you poke when you poke it, the barbs tangle all the fiber.
And that's what felting really
And that's
does.
what felting really does. But there's also wet felting.
Which is a totally
Which is
different
a whole,
process.
yeah. In wet felting, you can do that either knitting and then putting it in the washing machine and felting it.
We've all felted by accident.
Yes, right. It used to be you didn't want to do that. Now there's a way, you know, we make things larger when we make them, and then they shrink up to the size we want. And then there's also the felting like Jane does.
Yes. Jane Campbell.
Jane Campbell does scarves, Nuno felting it's called.
She also does little flowers
Flowers.
and all kinds of neat things. She's done demonstrations for us before. She's teaching wet felting this summer in one of our workshops.
I saw that on the list, yeah.
So if you want to learn how to do that, this would be a terrific opportunity. We also have a knitting class with Shirley McNulty coming up. So there are various opportunities to get involved with the fiber thing, but the easiest way to do it, honestly, is to come to the yarn circle.
Right,
You know.
and there's no, I mean, we meet from 12 to 3 every Wednesday, and there's no fee, there's no you have to be there at a certain time.
I start saying they come in all through that time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you know, and we share a lot of ideas, we share yarn, I mean, it's just...
Well, somebody came last. I
Yes.
think it was Jeannie, and she had this bag of stuff, and she's like, "I've got this. Who wants it?" And
That was
so-and-so's-
Amanda, yes. She couldn't stay, but she dropped by and she just handed out yarn to whoever wanted it. But I mean, we're a very, very sharing group.
You enjoy each other.
Yes, we do.
And there's
we
no
do.
fees to
There's
be
no
involved.
fees, no
and there's
fees.
no. The only timeline is it needs to be between 12 and 3. Other than that, you can come in at 1 if you want to. You can stay 30 minutes. You can stay 5 minutes. You can stay 2 hours, 3 hours. You know, whatever.
And I've had people come in at the very end with a problem or something, and I'll stay a little bit after
Yeah.
if they need me.
show them how to do
Yeah.
things.
So
occasionally she volunteers afterwards, and when she does, then she's already there anyway.
Right.
So, you know.
right.
So it just works really well for that kind of thing. The yarn circle is a good example to me of give and take. You know, we give a little bit of space and look what we get back.
Yes.
Friends
Yes.
and energy and fun and teachers and participants and members and
Right.
What else do you want?
It's really great, but I had no idea how much was happening at Art Space.
I think you are a good example because you've lived in this area a long time.
22 years.
Yeah. So if you've lived in this area a long time, you may not know either all the many, many things that go on with the Arts Council. We are a very busy organization.
Well, the Fiber Guild has done shows there. We've had a gallery, and even doing that, I never was really aware of how much goes on.
Right.
But when a group comes in and spends 3 hours every week, we start to find out what's going on, and people want to take classes, and and I took a class in stained glass,
right,
and my teacher came to my knitting group. So there's a lot of exchange of
and then the arty parties are a great example too, because they're a great opportunity for people to try out art. If you're a little bit not sure of yourself, an arty party is a fantastic opportunity to come and have a guided experience in some art form. Often it's painting, but it's not always painting. We'll have to do an arty party with spinning somehow.
Well, for that we have to have a lot of wheels, but but we could do that with drop spindles, because we can get more drop spindles.
Okay. Our thinking is going to start clicking here. We'll come up with something. But if you want to know about our workshops and classes, on our website, which is watauga-arts.org, there is a tab that's called Online Store. You click that tab and the screen pops up where that it gives you several different ways to look at them. You can look at them by the season, or you can look at an ABC order, or if you're interested in children's activities, there's a children's section, the business of art section, there's a place to join as a member. The online store is really a cool place because you can go in and browse all you want, read about the different things, and if you decide you want to do it, all you do is click buy now and you got it, and it signs you up through PayPal or a credit card, or you can even sign up and then call me or bring me the money if that's more convenient for you, or if that works better for you, if you don't happen to feel good about purchasing through the internet or that kind of thing. There's always a way to work with it, even if you aren't one that goes and uses cards that way. So I think that Jane's right, that the Arts Council has a lot more dimensions and a lot more going on than most people realize. And there's just so many opportunities for everyone. I think there's something for everybody, literally.
I got very excited. As you know, I got very excited about the prospect of being a part of that.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you be a part of it. I think you're going to be a real big asset to the organization. So,
well, I hope so.
And so that will be a lot of fun working with Jane. If you'd like to come get to know her better, any Wednesday, she's there.
I'm there.
So check our website for information about this, about all the cool things we're doing, and about so much more. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.